The South African National Civic Organization in the Northwest has slammed a decision to reseal shaft number 10 at Stilfontein mine. This was without consultation with residents. The community there was hoping for an opportunity to partake in artisanal mining. Now, it comes as the Mineral Resources and Police Ministers presented their plan to tackle illegal mining in Parliament. Sanco Northwest spokesperson is Mzukisi, and he joins us now for a conversation around this. Mr. Jam, good evening to you, and thank you very much for your time. I want us, before we kick off our conversation, to listen for a moment to the Mineral Resources Minister in Parliament today and his thoughts around illegal mining. Let's take a listen.
This thing of describing illegal mining as a reflection of desperation and hunger. Numbers don't say that. Numbers don't say that. We say that. And we talk to our sympathies than reality. I will come to artisanal and small-scale mining, but I'm trying to point at the numbers. Numbers don't say what we say as sympathizers. They give us a totally different story of foreign nationals raping our economy.
Those are very strong words, Mr. Jam, from the Minister of Mines. He has no sympathy for illegal mining. If anything, foreign nationals, to quote his words, are raping the South African economy. How do you respond?
Xoli, good evening to you and the viewers at home. And thank you for having us as Sanco here. It's disturbing to name the list. But on the same breath, you then understand when a person is speaking from a position of privilege. Because as much as he's saying his numbers are saying something else, our numbers are also saying something else, on the basis of the fact that the people that we are interacting with here and the people that we are trying to advocate for, it's our community. It's the people of Kuma in Stilfontein, the people that we engage with on regular basis, literally every day. So I understand the position of the minister because he's not affected. It's not his relatives that are affected. So it's honestly okay for him to say whatever that he's saying. You understand? But it's really disturbing, considering that the people that he's referring to are the very same people who actually put him where he is. The reality of the fact is that the people of Kuma in Stilfontein have lived through those shafts for years. Yeah. And it's a known fact.
All right. Let me come in from this angle. The police were also in Parliament today, and you would have heard, if you joined earlier, the police commissioner in the Northwest talking about millions that were spent on police deployment during that period last year of trying to retrieve the illegal miners who ended up needing the help of the state. Surely that is unfair on the government to go and rescue people who went in there by themselves.
You know, Xoli, the issue of money spent on retraction of these illegal miners, as they call them, which seems to be an issue in most of the cases, and it's often raised by police officers, by SAPS. It's really disturbing because no one is actually talking about the monies or millions that are spent a day in taking care of the prisoners. So it's something that we really do not want to dive too deep into because there is no fairness in terms of how they approach the whole thing. We've got prisoners who are being fed literally every day and who are taken care of, who are even taken to school, who have doctors. So what makes these ones different as compared to the very same prisoners? So that's why we are saying it's really not a topic that we really want to delve into. Secondly, it's very interesting. It's actually very ironic of SAPS to be even saying anything in the matter. considering that there are reports which the SAPS has presented to the public, which is evident that there was actually direct police involvement into the entire operation.
Yeah.
So they are the last people to can actually even say anything with regards to the matter, because they are actually implicated on the very same matter.
Indeed, you're correct, and that's why some of them, as we understand it, are now going through the criminal justice system. Sanco is in alliance with the African National Congress and indeed the tripartite alliance, as it is called. It is strange that you sit on two opposite ends, particularly with someone like the Minister of Mines, because you say he speaks from a position of privilege. Have there been conversations between Sanco and the ANC, to be specific, around artisanal mining and whether this is something that they buy into? By the way, the minister will tell you that there is artisanal mining in South Africa. It is a policy.
Thank you, Xoli. You know, it's an unfortunate situation in Northwest, because we have engaged or tried to engage the leadership of the province in Northwest, the leadership of the ANC in Northwest. As I'm speaking to you right now, we have disengaged from the ANC, from their activities, on the basis of the fact that when we bring to their attention issues which are affecting our community, especially these kinds of issues which are actually bread and butter issues, we are blatantly being ignored. But another thing that people have to know is that Sanco is an independent organization. That is number one. Number two, Sanco is not a subcommittee of the ANC. That is number two. Number three, I mean, being in an alliance does not necessarily mean we then turn a blind eye on our objectives as the civic movement, because our responsibility as the civic movement are the bread and butter issues and issues that are directly affecting our communities. Now, the issue of Stilfontein is directly affecting us and is directly affecting the people of Stilfontein as a community. So we can't turn our backs on them because the minister happens to be comfortable where he is. Okay. The minister must continue to be comfortable, but we are not going to turn our backs on the people who are actually our responsibility on the ground.
Very quickly, I have to end this conversation. So for Sanco, what is it that you wish needs to happen before the sealing of these mines? Because actually, we may even be late in our conversation because that process is ongoing of actually sealing these shafts.
What is disappointing, Xoli, is the fact that the Minister of SAPS and the Minister of DMRE do not regard us as the community, as the relevant stakeholders to engage on the matter. So they are doing as they wish. They do willy-nilly, you know, on issues which are directly affecting us as the community. We would have hoped that we were going to have an engagement with them if they were regarding us as the relevant stakeholders, so that we can then get to some sort of a common understanding as to how do we approach the matter. But they have proven it beyond reasonable doubt that they will never regard us as their relevant stakeholders. It is for those reasons that they are doing as they wish, but we are watching. But when the community starts revolting, Xoli, we must not be expected to be the ones who are now at the forefront of stopping the community from revolting. But what must be known is that we will be leading the very same community when they start revolting, because what is happening here is totally unfair.
It may be unfair, sir, and I did say that I'm ending the conversation. It may be unfair, however, there is another crucial element to this, and that is the involvement of a very large foreign national community in this illegal mining. Have you, as the community members and as an organization that leads the community, have you taken an initiative to find out why so many foreign nationals are involved in this, specifically Stilfontein, and who is getting the money at the end of the day? We have, Xoli, we have engaged, and I can tell you now,
our report as compared to the report that is presented by SAPS as to why are we having so many foreign nationals on the matter, especially at Stilfontein.
Please continue.
Can you hear me, Butloli?
Yes, yes, you are audible. Yes.
What we have found, Butloli, is totally different as compared to what the police have presented. We have never disputed the fact that there are foreign nationals who have been found underground together with our own local people. So we have a report which is really clearly citing as to how did it happen that there are foreign nationals involved. But when we present such reports, they are ignored because the reports which must be entertained are reports which seeks to support the narrative that is presented by the SAPS, the very same SAPS which is directly involved on the very same matter.
Still, it doesn't answer my question, though. Where does the money come from, or where does the money go? Who are the kingpins?
You know, Butloli, that's a very interesting question because I'm of a view, as I'm standing here, that SAPS are actually aware, they know actually who the kingpin is. We still have a person who was allegedly reported as a kingpin who disappeared right on the care of the SAPS. So it can't be us who must then answer the question of who exactly is the kingpin. We are humbly requesting SAPS to tell us who is the kingpin and where are the kingpins.
All right. Mzukisi, thank you very much for your time. He is a Sanco spokesperson from the Northwest Province.